Hey, it's Comic Artist Pro with the Disney Channel Flow. How you doing, everyone? It's Ethan Van Sciver coming at you live from my basement. Yeah, it's all true. It's all true. I live in the basement virtually the whole most of my life. I just work down here, and that's the way it goes. I mean, yeah. Eventually, I'd like to figure out a way to never have to leave the house. If I could just kind of not leave the house ever, I think that would be the ideal situation. I go to these big box stores now and just buy up food. Andrew's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you stocking up the freezer like this?" I'm like, "For the end of the world. I'm ready. I don't need to leave this cabin in the woods anymore, and I don't need to leave the basement within the cabin in the woods. I'm perfectly content here." Hi everyone, Zebulon Pike, Chappie, Steve J Movie Reviews, Enemy 993, Miss Quark, Jersey Devil. Uh, it's good to be with you guys tonight. Very very awesome. Let me tell you something. Don't come after Comicsgate. If your entire business model is just to harass Comicsgate or to try to say, "Hey, take that, incels," it ain't gonna work out for you. I mean, at the end of the day, SJWs are a tiny, tiny minority of people, and an even smaller minority of comic book readers. I mean, this is just not. It's not a sustainable business model to thumb your nose at the customer. I'm sorry, it just isn't. We're going to prove it time and time and time again. Here's when are you people going to learn? Fall in line. It's Comicsgate. It's the customer. That's it. That's the way it is. And here's some more proof. This just came over. Bleeding Cool. God, this is embarrassing. After 26 years, DC Comics rumored to close Vertigo. Now, Vertigo Comics has been around for a long time. You want to talk about some of the greatest comic book creators at DC Comics, some of the best comic book creators in comics of all time. Garth Ennis, Neil Gaiman. I mean, just running the gamut of the best of the very best. And in terms of artists, Sam Keith, Chris Bacallo, Dave McKean. Somebody else who's run into some SJW conflict just recently. Prestigious. I want to say prestigious. I want to say that is the word. I want to say it's an honor. It's an honorable kind of thing to work for Vertigo because, just between you and me, people who work at Vertigo do not make as much money as people who work for superhero comics, with the exception of Neil Gaiman and some of the big shots. But for the most part, if you're just some kind of artist or writer working for Vertigo, doing your dream project, the hope is always going to be that it becomes a TV show or something because there ain't no money. And for the most part, your books are not going to sell. But still, you aim really high. You're aiming to do something artsy. You're aiming for American Gods. You're aiming for something like that that's actually going to become something. And you share a sort of contractual agreement with DC Comics and Warner Brothers. I was going to do a couple of things for Vertigo, and I will tell you the money was not good. In fact, the money sucked, and it was part of, I think, the arrangement, and the kind of underlying agreement was, hey, as soon as the book comes out, Warner Brothers is going to buy the option for this. That's going to be the thing. We're going to want to hold on to the option for 1 year, and then we're going to renew it at 2 years, and then we're going to renew it at 3 years, at which time we'll let it go if we don't do anything with it. So there's going to be that extra little tiny offering, sprinkling of money that we're going to give you for working for Vertigo. This is why this is Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I let you guys know the way it kind of works. So what kind of idiots? What kind of jackanapes? What kind of fools would run this into the ground? I mean, it's just it's an outrage. This. I mean, I'm furious about this. We're gonna find out. This is written by Rich Johnson. So Rich Johnson, he's received this rumor. Obviously, he's got to write an article about it for Bleeding Cool. He is going to hide one name from you. He is going to not mention one name of somebody responsible for this disaster in this entire article. Many of you already know who that guy is. Many of you already know the name. that Rich Johnson is going to protect, because Rich Johnson is somebody who protects SJWs within comics. Rich Johnson excuses them. Rich Johnson kind of writes his cutesy way around their, incredible, responsibility for disasters. He it's just perfidy. One awful thing after the next that Rich Johnson excuses while he persecutes people, innocent people like Doug TenNapel, innocent people like myself. This is what Bleeding Cool is. But we're going to use this article anyway. This is going to be the baseline of where we're going to get our news from here. Why not? Yeah, Mark Waid too. Believe it or not, Mark Waid. But you know what's funny? The Mark Waid article that came out about Mark Waid and Dennis L. Barger Jr. Rich didn't quite know how to deal with that. I mean, Rich Johnson had to admit that Mark Waid was nuts within that article, but he still kind of, I don't know, he helped them a little bit. Bleeding Cool has been informed by a number of sources this morning that DC Comics is planning to shutter its Vertigo imprint. This has come as quite a surprise to some. Who? Who could be surprised by this? You maniacs. Who could be surprised by the idea that there are consequences to just failure after failure after failure? Who could be surprised by this? Vertigo used to be elite. It used to be the creative elite. It became an open door for the absolute animals that attack Comicsgate every single day on Twitter to get big jobs. It basically became an open door for SJWs, and the entire purpose of hiring them was to go in your face, white male oppressor, in your face, Trump supporters, in your face, you incels. That was the entire purpose of this new Vertigo line, when it used to be something so great. I mean, you just think about it. I mean, people in the chat, yeah, Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. You just think about how amazing Vertigo used to be. And, it used to be the place that people went to say, look, not all comics are for kids. If I'm not into the spandex superhero thing, my girlfriend makes fun of me for reading comics, so I gave her Sandman, and now she's like obsessed with Sandman, and that's the whole thing, so now she reads comics too, and now we both read comics together. That used to be Vertigo. How could you be surprised? How could you be surprised? The catastrophic new Vertigo line, the SJW new Vertigo line. How many times do we have to say it? Get woke, go broke. Fire these people. God damn it. Fire these people. If not for your customers' sake, if not for the sake of the retailers, for your own sake, get these people out of there. They're identified. You know who they are. You know who these people are. You know they're making trouble. You know what they're doing. Get them out of here. They're not only are they making trouble for you, they're costing you money, and they just killed Vertigo. I also understand that DC Comics has just greenlit a number of Vertigo projects for publication. Indeed, there are plans for a big launch of new books for San Diego Comic-Con, spearheading a new Vertigo thing. But I've been told that word has come down from on high rather rapidly to make the change. Some contracts are being revoked, some creator-owned titles released back to their creators, and some will be moved within the publisher. And those affected are being informed. Vertigo was created in 1993 by senior DC editor Karen Berger as a publishing imprint for DC stories with more graphic or adult content that could not fit within the restrictions of the Comic Code Authority, thus allowing more creative freedom than DC's main imprint. These comics were free to contain explicit violence, substance and drug abuse, sexuality, nudity, profanity, and other controversial subjects, which was great because, basically we got all these European writers and artists to come over and work for DC Comics, of course. Similar to the content of R-rated films. DC was already publishing titles such as Animal Man, Hellblazer, Sandman, Swamp Thing, and Doom Patrol in this fashion. Vertigo provided a banner for these and many more titles to come. Although its initial publications were primarily in the horror and fantasy genres, it also published works dealing with crime, social commentary, speculative fiction, biography, and other genres with a mix of company and creator-owned work. It pioneered the now common publishing model in which monthly series are periodically comprised into collected editions, which are kept in print for bookstore sale. And I'm telling you that like these, Vertigo books, especially as graphic novels, this model worked for Vertigo. People would much rather read Neil Gaiman in long form than just the monthly pamphlet. So and these things, it's practically, when Neil Gaiman writes a book, he is very much like Charles Dickens. I mean, they come in monthly installments, but then you've got a book that's going to last forever. That's who Neil Gaiman is. Vertigo series of note as well as the above includes Sandman, Preacher, 100 Bullets, Y the Last Man. By the way, Y the Last Man, the entire series beat me for the Eisner in 2008. That was my year for Eisner nomination. And it was just for Sinestro Corps War, that single book. The entire run of Y the Last Man had just come to an end. So they gave the artist of that the Eisner. And I was like, well, that's fair enough. That was a lifetime of work, and I only did 4 months of work. Transmetropolitan, after moving there from Sci-Fi imprint Helix and Fables. Several of his publications have been adapted as films, including Constantine, Stardust, as well as TV shows Constantine, iZombie, Lucifer, Preacher, Doom Patrol, and Swamp Thing. It has also been used to retrospectively house titles such as Watchmen, A History of Violence, V for Vendetta, all made into movies. Oh, all right. When things started to go south, Vertigo suffered a number of blows in recent years. After a proud presentation amongst Warner Brothers vice presidents, then Chairman Alan Horn asked why more Vertigo series weren't being turned into TV shows or movies. On being told that this was because many were creator-owned, he demanded changes be made to the contracts, then saw bankable stars like Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, Grant Morrison, Neil Gaiman look elsewhere because they couldn't own their work anymore, with subsequent contractual changes only making things worse. Now, my deal with Vertigo happened in 2010, and it was part of the deal. Part of the deal was, you will be, we're automatically going to own a piece of what you do. Okay, we get the option. So I don't know if this was before that or after that. I'm not really sure. Let's see. As part of the reorganization of DC Comics, the imprint lost the right to use DC Comics established characters like Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol. Oh, that was why. Okay. For the longest time, it was, everybody wanted to do Swamp Thing, and everybody was being told no, and I didn't know why. And then finally, when Brightest Day came out, Dan DiDio was talking to me like, "Hey, we can put Swamp Thing. You can bring back Swamp Thing in Plastic Man if you want in your Plastic Man book." And I went, "What? I don't think he works in there." But I remember him telling me that, and then Swamp Thing showed up somewhere else for the first time, and it was pretty substantial. And then he was in Brightest Day, so Swamp Thing came back. I guess for some reason they had lost the rights. And Doom Patrol, though, they kept Hellblazer going for some while. All right, so the firing of Karen and Shelley as part of those reorganizations, DC Comics placed Vertigo under editorial control of Hank Canals, Jim Lee's friend from Wildstorm. Okay, they needed a place to bring him when they brought Jim Lee over, and then Bob Harras from Marvel Comics. Bob Harras, the guy who took X-23 from me, kind of. Bob Harras was the guy who, remember, I've told the story about how I kind of created X-23. Joe Quesada took it over to Bob Harras. Bob Harras absolutely loved it, and it became Marbles. Now Bob Harras works at DC Comics. Effectively demoting Vertigo founder and senior editor Karen Berger, who previously reported directly to the publisher and the president, Paul Levitz. Though there were often issues there. Soon after, she was fired by DC Comics, and that was something else. After a period of gardening leave, she set up Berger Books at Dark Horse, drawing on much of the Vertigo talent she had nurtured at the imprint. DC would also fire her successor, Shelley Bond, who would do likewise, setting up Black Crown at IDW. Oversight of Vertigo was placed under Jamie S. Rich until Mark Doyle. Now, this is who we're skipping someone. Mark Doyle is who is going to take the blame for this, the current senior editor. What Rich Johnson wants to do here is he wants to blame DC for firing Karen and Shelley and hiring Mark Doyle. So in other words, we've got a man here who replaced two women, and that's the reason why Vertigo fell apart. That's not the reason why. That is not the reason why. God damn. I'm like angry. I'm angry about this. You know. I have to take a break. Hold on. Let me get myself together. God damn it. The other publishers stepped up their creator-owned game with better deals and greater publicity, including Image, Dark Horse, Oni, Boom Studios, and more. It's been notable that even a launch title from the likes of Vault and Black Mask can double or triple the launch of a new comic book from Vertigo. Wow. Vault and Black Mask, of course, the home of SJW scumbags. Most of the worst SJWs are published over at these two studios. So again, Rich Johnson is trying to say a couple of things. Rich Johnson's funny. Like, you have to read between the lines with him. He's not saying things outright. He is spinning a web here. He's protecting one single person. He's blaming the death of Vertigo on the firing of Karen Berger and Shelley Bond. He's blaming it on their replacement, Mark Doyle. Is Mark Doyle white? I want to check. I don't even know. I wanted to see if he happens to be a white male. There he is. He's a white male. All right. That's interesting. So you fire women, you hire a white male to come in, and he wrecks shop, essentially. That's what they're saying. All right. All right. And in the meantime, all of these horrible publishers, Vault and Black Mask, who publish Mags Visaggio, who publish, what's his name? Kwanzaa. These are the studios that publish these SJWs. And so he's just trying to say, look, man, they drove this guy drove Vertigo into the ground, and SJWs were doing well. All of the horrible SJWs that you see on Twitter that are causing trouble all the time were doing great. They were selling 3 times as many as a new comic book from Vertigo. Well, I'd like to see some proof of that. I don't really know. There's been talk of a Vertigo taint in the eyes of retailers. Ew. Don't put a taint in your eyes. Which not even the recent Sandman Presents could counter. Now here we go. The 2018 relaunch that fizzled. Now this is important. Again, we're going to start naming names, but we're going to leave off one name. That name, and I'll tell you now, is Andy Corey. Andy Corey. Is Andy Corey in this? Is he mentioned? I don't see Andy Corey's name. That's weird. That's weird. Andy Corey is the one who's responsible for this 2018 relaunch, not Mark Doyle. I'm sure Mark Doyle approved of it. But Andy Corey, straight out of whatchamacallit, what's that website that Andy Corey came from? Comics Alliance. Comics Alliance, the website that basically housed all of the weirdos, Kieran Shiak, all of those people. All of the weird, harassing, lunatic SJWs. Once Comics Alliance, that website, broke up, went bankrupt, had to let everyone go, had to fire them, they all scattered to the 4 corners of the internet. But Andy Corey ended up editing over at DC Comics on the Vertigo books. And Andy Corey was using his platform on Twitter to start talking about how he was at war with white men. Andy Corey is the guy who hired all of these people right here. And you're going to recognize some of these names. And again, I don't see his name here. We're blaming it on Mark Doyle, evidently. A recent relaunch last year, alongside the Sandman title, saw the announcement of Border Town by Eric Esquivel, rapist, evidently. Accused rapist. He did a book called Border Town, which was incredibly, it was a racist book. Diversity in Comics did quite a few reviews of the issues that came out, and they were shocking. I mean, I think also Just Some Guy did some great reviews. The book was incredibly racist. It was rude. It was abusive to people who are right of center. Turns out a woman came forward and said that she had been sexually abused by Eric Esquivel for years, and that she was aware that he was doing the same thing to minors. He lost his job. By the way, everyone that worked with him, including Ramon Villalobos and the colorist, what's her name? What is her name? Bonvillain. All knew about it. They all knew. They'd heard some things about Eric Esquivel, but they didn't come forward Very suspicious circumstances. Once the Eric Esquivel revelations came out, both of them, Ramon and Bonvillain, both came out together and said, "We didn't know. I mean, we heard some stuff, but we didn't know. I can't, I cannot, in good conscience, work. I'm going to step down. I can't work with Eric Esquivel." Both of them said that together, and then DC fired Eric. They both knew. They both know. All right, canceled in December after 4 published and 2 unpublished issues after harassment, not harassment, sexual assault allegations against Esquivel. Second Coming by Mark Russell, huge SJW. Some weirdo. This guy has something up his ass about Comicsgate, about me. I've never met this guy. I don't know what his problem is, honestly. He's got something up his ass. It's Richard Pace. Richard Pace, one of the worst people on the internet. Oh my God. Comes in, they decide they're going to do a comic book called Second Coming, which is going to make fun of Christians. It's actually going to talk about how Jesus' first mission on earth, it's going to be a wacky sitcom. Jesus' first mission on earth was bollocksed up because he got killed. He wasn't supposed to get killed. He was supposed to save people. So God's going to send him back to earth a second time, and he's going to be tutored by a superhero and learn how to be a better savior. That's the book. Christians all over the country got together and actually, I mean, it's like you can't get 250,000 people to buy a comic book, but you can get 250,000 people to sign a petition against a comic book, which is the proud badge that Richard Pace wears. He was able to not get a comic book published, his first book at DC, not get it published, and get a whole lot of negative attention for DC Comics by 250,000 normie Christians who said, please do not, DC Comics, publisher of Superman, do not publish a comic book that mocks my religious faith, please. Do not, even if you're going to mock my religious faith, could you not mock Jesus Christ? Is that okay? With these two jackasses? Yeah, two jackasses working for DC Comics that decide their big chance they're going to use DC Comics platform to mock Jesus Christ and upset Christians. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely astonishing. You don't want to get in there and just kind of do some stuff and see if you can make some money for DC Comics and yourself and work yourself up into a better platform so you can tell better superhero stories or better stories, make more money, use their platform to, get the attention of Hollywood. No, you just want to go in there and you want to blaspheme and upset people and get the company in trouble. Essentially, that's what happens when you hire SJWs. Get woke, go broke. They don't care about you. They don't care about your money. They don't care about you making money. They don't care about the company that they work for because they don't believe in capitalism. They believe in using the platform that you've spent years, in fact, decades establishing so that they can actually use it to just proselytize their hatred, their utter hatred for normal people. They're stormy. They're all broken up inside. They go to DC Comics that publishes Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman, and they use that megaphone. Once you let them get a hold of it, they take that megaphone from you and they start screaming about how Jesus Christ is stupid. Now, people, yes, it's free speech. Yes, you don't want to come and say, hey, it's art. You can do what you want. You want to do that at DC Comics, Warner Brothers? Obviously not. I mean, this is such a lapse in judgment. These guys can go do their comic book for some lame indie like what they're doing now. You got bumped back down to the minor leagues where you belong. Nobody's going to buy it. Canceled before its debut over content concerns. That's new. That's an admission. I don't think that's what they said the first time around. And by the way, also, it was probably it was canceled 2 days after final orders came in. Final orders. So it's like retailers have a chance to purchase up to this one date. Like this is it, final order cutoff, FOC. And after final order cutoff, that's how many the books sold. Final order cutoff comes and goes. 2 days later, the book's canceled. Oh, we're concerned about content. We're concerned about content. I'm getting, absolutely furious. Finding a new home at Ahoy Comics. Good, that's where it belongs. That's where it belongs. It belongs at Ahoy Comics. Hex Wives by Ben Blacker, Mirka Andolfo. I don't know who these people are, which ended after 6 issues. American Carnage by Brian Hill, good guy. Leandro Fernandez. Goddess Mode by, here we go, by Zoe Quinn. By Zoe Quinn. Five Guys Zoe Quinn of Gamergate fame. Has she written a comic book before? I don't think she's written a comic book before. Why is Zoe Quinn? For what reason is Zoe Quinn plucked out of the obscurity of the end of Gamergate, the Five Guys, awesome internet aristocrat video about her, Depression Quest? Why is Zoe Quinn working for DC Comics? Why? Could there be any other reason that Zoe Quinn is working for? By the way, Zoe Quinn too. She actually came out and called this her day job so that she could pay off whatever it was. I mean, she had like some debts from not producing an Indiegogo or whatever it was that she did. I mean, she didn't even want this job. It was just some money that she was going to make. And then Robbie, here's the big one: Robbie Rodriguez, alcoholic weirdo, who decided one night, and I swear to God, this is true. Some of you were here. He got so emotional. I don't even know who this douchebag is. I don't know who any of these people are. These people are beneath my radar, except that they insist on trying. They're like in my, like, here, Ethan, we're here. Look at us. I don't know who any of you are. I don't know your work. I don't know you. I've never met you. Stop. Robbie Rodriguez decides he's going to send me 2 pictures of his butthole one night on Twitter. He earned the nickname Robbie the Rectum. Now, here's what I want to say. I want to say that this is not a relaunch that fizzled. This is a relaunch that exploded on the runway and absolutely took out half of the airport. No, it's a relaunch. Launches, planes don't launch rockets. Space shuttle, NASA. It took the SA off of NASA. NASA is now just nah. It just exploded on the launch pad, killed everyone, destroyed half of NASA. That's what this did. This was not just, it didn't just fizzle out. It was catastrophic. You had Eric Esquivel, publicly accused of, credibly accused of sexual assault, underage girls. You had Mark Russell and Richard Pace, 2 absolute geniuses who pissed off the entire Christian church and had to get, and it's not like, hey, you did. No, you guys, good job. You pissed off the Christian church. You idiots were controversial in a way that didn't even make money. You idiots were controversial in a way that, like, you had to get shuffled off over here. And I don't know what's going on now with this comic book. It's one thing to be controversial. You want to be a little bit controversial. You want people to talk about you. You want there to be some buzz. What you don't want to do is outrage the Christian church to the point where DC Comics has to apologize for you and shuffle you into Ahoy Comics. And by the way, the comic looked like shit. Richard, it looked like shit. Learn to draw backgrounds, dude. Bro, I have a couple of videos about perspective. How to draw perspective. Watch them. 45 minutes of your life. And then you've got Zoe Quinn, infamous Gamergate troublemaker, and Robbie Rodriguez, who actually, in a peculiar way, sexually harassed me. I think that's sexual harassment. I didn't want to see his anus. I didn't ask to see his butthole. And yet I did. All right. And the currently unscheduled safe sex by Tina Horn and Mike Dowling. Now, who did this? It didn't set the world on fire. No. It just set Vertigo on fire. Didn't it, Rich Johnson? It just set Vertigo. Didn't it, Andy Corey? Didn't it, DC Comics? It set Vertigo on fire. At its peak, it was the very best American comics had to offer. But you hired SJWs, and SJWs do what SJWs do. They go into wherever you put them, and they unravel it. They cause trouble. They destroy it. They cost you money, and it collapses. And then they go, whatever. And then they make excuses about it. SJWs will do this wherever you put them. I don't know why this continues. And Andy Corey, we see you, bro. DC Comics, fire this idiot. You've known about him. You've known he's a troublemaker now for years. Fire him already. You put him in charge of Vertigo and he destroyed it. God damn it. He didn't just goof, he destroyed Vertigo. He didn't just put out a couple of bad books that didn't do so well. They didn't sell so well. They didn't catch on. So better luck next time. 1, 2, 3 different occasions. 3 out of the 6 books in the 2018 relaunch were catastrophic bad PR. Catastrophic. You don't have to kneel to these people. Part of what I want Comicsgate to assert, part of the mission statement of Comicsgate is to just say loud and clear, you don't have to kneel to these people. If you are a normal person who just wants to make money, if your business plan is to succeed, stop hiring SJWs. Stop apologizing to them. Stop feeling that you need to do something for them. They need to be locked up. They need to be institutionalized. Don't give them money unless it's in a tin cup. Don't give them money. Don't give them positions of authority. Don't let them make choices for you. Don't let them force you into making choices that will affect your business. Stand up. God damn it. Stand up and tell these people to go fuck themselves before they fuck up your entire business. And you guys, excuse my language. I'm so angry about this because we all saw this coming. We talked about this. We all saw it coming. We all knew it was going to happen. And even still, they're going to cover. They're going to cover for Andy Corey, who is their agent, who's holding the door open for more of them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about that. Now, I mean, in the meantime, you want to talk about people who actually ignore SJWs, who tell SJWs to go F themselves. Let's brighten this up. I'm fuming right now. Let me give you some good news. Hold on a second here. You guys are going to love this. If I don't get a Hail Caesar out of you for this, you know, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. You guys are gonna love this. All right, hang on. Let me blow this up and let's share it. Say no to SJWs. When SJWs come for your business, tell them to fuck off or ignore them. Here's why. Dynamite Comics announces history-making sales of Vampirella #1. Comicsgate? Comicsgate. Yes. Yes, Comicsgate. History-making sales. The fifth biggest company in comics. History making sales of Vampirella #1. You contributed to that. You guys did that. You guys made that happen. Oh, I love it. Look at her. She's naked. Hooray. She's sexy. Hooray. It's Vampirella. It's exactly, it's like I told Nick Barucci at one point, I said, look, it's Vampirella. Like, Nick Barucci of Dynamite. That's what people want. When people want to buy a Vampirella book, they want a Vampirella book. Give it to them. He's way ahead of me. Look at this. Vampirella is back in all her glory. Dynamite announced the heroine's triumphant return to an ongoing series to debut on her 50th gold anniversary, July 2019. I hope you guys ordered your copies. I know that you did. With a preview 0 issue for Free Comic Book Day. Written by the one and only Christopher Priest. Oh, yeah. Yes. And you guys are freaking out in the chat, and I love to see it. I love to see it. God, this is awesome. Christopher Priest, ladies and gentlemen. And Christopher Priest, I don't know how he feels about Comicsgate. He probably, if you asked him, he'd be like, I don't know. What I heard is not so great. Christopher Priest was attacked by comic book SJWs, the exact people that Comicsgate exists to oppose, and Christopher Priest stood up to him and he said, no, I am not apologizing to you. I am not going to change what I said. I'm not afraid of you. I am Christopher Priest. I'm way bigger than you. I have talent. There's no reason why I need to apologize to you. Current orders project a print run in excess of 60,000 copies right out of the gate. 60,000 copies. 60,000 copies. Do you guys know? Because we have been looking. Let me just all right, I'm going to search for something else. Let's just see. Oh God, I'm so happy and I'm so proud of everyone. Oh my God. You guys were a part of this. You guys helped. You guys helped, and I know you're going to continue to help. Let's just take a look at this. All right. We're going to look at April's numbers. These are the most current, as far as I know. I don't think May's numbers are available yet. So we're looking at the April numbers. These are the April sales for comics, and you're going to look. It's Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, all the way down here. Okay, so Marvel and DC basically own the top 100. You can't look at this. 100. You got Image and you got Valiant at 99 and 100, but everything else, you got a Boom Studios in here too. Pretty much everything else is Marvel and DC, Marvel and DC. These are the numbers along the side here. Now, let's say that we stopped right there and the Vampirella #1 sold 60,000 copies. Dynamite Comics has the number 15. No, number 14. It would be the number 14. They would be this close to being on the top 10. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh, they deserve it. They deserve this success. They deserve this success. They would be number 14, the 14th biggest sale. And by the way, from what I understand, it's going to go past that. I think they're going to hit the top 10. Top 10 would be 76,000 for the month of April. So all they need to do is hit, maybe 77,000, and they would be in the top 10. And right now we're saying right out of the gate, in excess, right out of the gate of 60,000 copies. Now, you can't back Vampirella anywhere. What you can do is you can go to dynamite.com, dynamitecomics.com. You can go to their store and you can buy a copy of Vampirella. That's what you can do. and they have special variant covers, and some you can spend $4, you can spend $50, you can get a really nice rare copy of number one, or you can get just the regular newsstand copy of number one. Whatever you want to do to celebrate this, that's on you. But this is my friend Nick Barucci, Dynamite CEO and publisher. He says July is a huge month for us this year and lays the foundation for a strong rest of the year going into 2020. You better believe it. For the anniversary, we went all out with Vampirella offerings to spoil fans of the character, both new and old. To have Christopher Priest helming as the new ongoing series is the centerpiece. As the centerpiece is a dream come true. He's more than welcome to stay on the title as long as he'd like. Hell yes. Let's look at this. I mean, you got the Frank Cho cover. Look at this Alex Ross cover for Vampirella number one. You've got the Joe Jusko cover. Fantastic. You've got the Gillum March cover. And then the cosplay cover. I guess these are the covers that you can choose from. Look at this, $4. They're not even $5. They're $4. Dynamite did this. They don't have to. You don't have to bow down to these people. Oppose them. Oppose them at all turns. Just oppose them. Tell them no. Do great stuff. Who wouldn't want to buy this comic book? I mean, it's great. You've got a great writer on it. You've got a hot chick. Some people like the cosplay cover. I don't know. What do you guys think? What is the best cover here? I really like the Alex Ross one because it looks old school. Like this just looks like something from, I don't know, from the 1970s. I like it. Joe Jusko's is really good. Gillum March's is really nice too. The cosplay, obviously, this one's going to do great. Final orders due June 24th. In shops July 17th. Yeah. Yeah, people all like different ones. People are saying Alex Ross is good. You know, it all depends. It's just a matter of taste. But yeah, you guys can go and you guys can purchase a copy. Go to the Dynamite store. Go to Dynamite Comics. Purchase a copy. Be a part of this success. Be a part of it. I mean, what can you do? You've got these guys. You've got Dynamite Comics that one is doing business with me. It's doing business with me. And when SJWs came after Dynamite Comics for doing business with me, they said nothing. And we're still doing this cover together. We're still doing this cover together. You know, here it is. I don't know. Did I put it in there? View campaign. No, that's not it at all. That's the old Cyberfrog campaign. Oh, because I had to count. I calculated how many copies Cyberfrog sold in total. We're like at 16,641 at this point, which is astonishing, absolutely astonishing, of a $25 book. Enviable success. And now I share, that success with Dynamite Comics. People who are standing up are actually succeeding. People who are making room. People who are submitting. People who are allowing SJWs to come in and make decisions. Who give them jobs after 26 years. A platform that took 26 years to build. DC Comics is closing Vertigo. That's what they get. So let's do the contrast real quick. DC Comics is closing Vertigo because they submitted to SJWs. Dynamite announces history-making sales of Vampirella number one because they told SJWs to go suck it. Essentially, not in so many words. They just didn't bend the knee. Okay. Heck, it's clear as day right there. It's clear as day. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Congratulations. Congratulations, Dynamite. Congratulations, you guys. We talked about this. Comicsgate got together. We did everything we could. We threw them some we threw them some sales and some support. And you guys, I think mostly what I want to do is I want to bring awareness to Dynamite Comics. I want you guys to understand that I think at this point, there's a comic book company that's only interested in selling comic books and making money. That's not to say that they're in love with Comicsgate or, they uh, or they have political, ideas that align with Republicans. Nothing like that. I don't think that's the case at all. In fact, I think what it is just, hey, we're in business. How can we sell more comics to more people? It's not about politics. It's just about making money. How do we do it? I like that, and I hope you guys like that too. I hope you guys dig that too. All right. So Zach's in the chat. How you doing, Zach? That's great. What a great day. I mean, look, it's a horrible day at the same time. I'm furious about Vertigo. Absolutely furious. But I got to say, the Dynamite news kind of makes up for it, doesn't it? I think it does. All right, let me see here. Let me read some super chats. Thank you guys very much for your support as usual. I just every day it just feels like we're winning every single day. Every single day. How come I can never find the super chats? Live dashboard. Let's see if that works. That's just stupid. Hail to your boy. Thumbs up. Yeah, guys, thumbs up this video. Please do. For goodness sakes. If you wouldn't mind, drop a thumbs up. Like the video. Of course, the video is already demonetized because I was cursing. Kate Brady says, so when will Corey get his promotion? We're bound to see that, and that's going to be infuriating. Andy Corey should be fired. But you know what? The fact that I'm saying Andy Corey should be fired, manifestly obvious, means that he is going to run the company tomorrow. Means he's going to become the new EIC. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's so weird, man. It's just so weird. Like, you're not hurting me. This is the thing. Andy Corey doing these awful Vertigo comics, I know he thought he was hurting us. He was hurting all of the people that he put the spotlight on because all of their foibles came out. Of course, they failed. That's what happens with SJWs. They fail. And then eventually, Vertigo collapses. So, yeah, I guess you really showed the incels. You really showed the incels. You really stuck it to Comicsgate. We really feel dumb right now. Logan Michael Anti-Funko Pops says, pie. Oh, dude, I ate an apple pie today. It was so good. Little one. I had an apple pie. It was very nice. Crazy Maynard, thanks for €2. Says, SJWs destroy a woman's legacy. Congrats. Yeah, but you notice how Rich Johnson tried to spin it. Rich Johnson tried to spin it so that it was just like, well, these two women were fired and that was what led to the death of Vertigo. No, not really. I mean, it was sad. I don't think Karen Berger or Shelley Bond should have been dismissed from Vertigo at all. But they were, and they left the company in good shape. So, they weren't publishing SJW comics. They weren't hiring grossly negligent, irresponsible creators. So, what exactly is the problem? Dun, 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 dun. Nerf Herder says, Hail Caesar, thank you. Crazy Manor 2003 says, you can't send SJW in a super chat. Go figure. That's interesting. Saggy Bone says, DC keeps Andy Corey and fires Mark Chiarello, and this is what they get, to the surprise of no one except Bleeding Cool. I can't believe they got rid of Mark Chiarello. You want to talk about an important human being. You want to talk about a person who deserves his job until he dies. It's Mark Chiarello. I don't understand that. And I'm sure, I'm sure there was a reason. I'm sure if I were still in the know, I would get an explanation maybe, and it would make sense. But from the outside looking in, it doesn't make any sense. And keeping Andy Corey at this point makes zero sense. Steps in Gold says, making comics. How do I know when I'm ready? Where to start? Steps in Gold, you know when you know. It's not about anything like that. You're just making comics because that's what you do. When I was 19, I realized I needed to start making comics because that was going to be my career. And I just started drawing comics. I drew a page every single day. I lettered it myself. I did it on typing paper or like photocopy paper, just 8 by 11. You know, and you learn how to do it. Leo Luhayo says this is pretty depressing now. Hope I picked it up though. Spirits Car said the original Vertigo trade TPs, Gaiman, Moore, Morrison, still on the shelves in bookstores. Strong, solid writing will sustain and grow audiences for decades. Micus Miller says check out the new Vertigo tier for Lone Star. I love Micus Miller. He's funny. I don't know if Mike likes him though. Leo Luhayo, thanks for a €2 donation. K Brady, thanks for $4.99. Should the Sargon Reaper meme be replaced with Corey? Well, so far he's only killed Vertigo Comics. Oh no, wrong. I guess he killed Comics Alliance too. So wherever Andy Corey goes, everyone fails, and the company just apparently implodes. So Andy Corey worked for Comics Alliance. They died. Andy Corey worked for Vertigo, and they died. I don't know. What's the common thread? Get Down Demon says, Hail Caesar, please bring on Matt Wenger and Super Harem on the live stream. They're $3,100 from a full color book. Thanks, Hail Comicsgate. Hashtag Blame War campaign. Not right now. This is just a quick stream. I'm going to be in and out. Spirits Car says, DC fired Karen Berger. They destroyed her legacy. A lot of people feel that way. David Chappelle says, don't forget the tin cup tier on Lone Star Soul, the Soldier, Indiegogo. Peephole Circus says, lift that pencil, EVS Rainbow Brute will flow. Hail. Yeah, I tried to talk to Cecil today. That didn't work out. Like the phone, we had a poor phone connection. I couldn't. It was weird. It was just we didn't get together. Hatch 450 SX says, Hail Caesar. Nakil, a pro Dragon Ball Z player, has cancer. Please take a moment to think about donating a few dollars. Can save his life. H. Schilling. Who's Nakil? You're going to have to put that in Twitter and let me retweet it. Brian Greer says, SJWs were slaves of their own racism and hate. I nearly feel sorry for them. Joe Marone says, SJWs are Black Knight from Monty Python, limbless but still claiming victory. Panboy Lando Soy Child Dong Lover says, Zach sees Jawbreakers on shelf in the public library. Vertigo dies the same day. Can't write this stuff. I didn't know that. They had Jawbreakers on the shelf at a library? That is terrific. Good for you, Zach. Hatch says he's a great, super funny guy. Snack Bomb is his name. Okay. And he says, can't post links, so please look up Snack Bomb. Hatch, just tweet it to me, and I'll retweet it. I'll make sure that everyone sees it. That's just extraordinary. So I wanted to let you guys know. I wanted you guys to know about this news. I wanted you guys to see what's up. I think it's a disaster. I think the death of Vertigo is a disaster. I don't know what to say. It is a disaster, and a lot of people saw it coming. And again, every single time these people come after Comicsgate, make decisions to spite us. Everything that you do, everything that SJWs do is in spite of us. They're not doing anything for fun. I don't think about SJWs at all when I'm doing Cyberfrog. At all. I think about how much I love Cyberfrog. I think about this story that I want to tell and where it's going. I think about money for me and my family. I think about the next issue of Cyberfrog. I think about Rainbow Brute. I think about fun, and I think about entertaining people and getting good reviews. I don't think about making SJWs mad. A lot of people say, oh yeah, like SJWs owned whatever. It doesn't even cross my mind. I honestly, I just think about doing good comics. And if SJWs are owned by me doing good comics, then that's great. F them. But I mean, these people, everything they do is done for spite. They do things to spite. It's called cutting off your own nose to spite your face. And God forbid, cutting off my nose would not spite my face. It'd probably be good for me. But these people are absolutely crazy. Everything that they do is meant to just say, F you. They're holding up middle fingers to you, the customer, just the normal people who want to buy their product and just feel slighted and feel insulted by them. Hey, you don't like Brie Larson? Guess what, a-hole? We're gonna put her in Star Wars. You don't like Brie Larson? We're gonna put her everywhere. Kleindropper says mentioning Brie Larson, so this counts as one of 100. If your whole purpose is just to upset people, don't do it. Do it for any reason other than that. Be creative because it makes you happy, because it just fills you with joy, and because you want to spread that joy and share that joy. If you're going to do comics, do them because you want people to read them and enjoy them, because you want people to connect with you and your art, your thoughts, your ideas. You hope to get rich. Do comics for all those reasons. Do not do comics to make people feel bad about themselves. That's just not, there's no future in that. That is failure. Brian Greer says, in my mind, mainstream comics had failed. Only Comicsgate and more indies would be the future for decades to come. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just, at this point, I want to do everything that I can, and I'm just one person who's also trying to put out my own comics. I've got my own comics to do, but I just want to do everything I can to support people who care about the health of comics, the growth of comics as a business, the prosperity of comics. And I just want to help people who want to do their own as much as I can. So I don't know. People are saying, where are your Brie videos, Ethan? I know. I've got so much to talk about today. I had too many like comic book related videos today. I had too many comic book. I got the Mark Waid video that got demonetized, by the way. I'm not going to make any money making fun of Mark Waid. And I said, hey, could you check this video? And I don't think I said anything wrong in here. Confirmed by manual review. I was like, what did I say? Do you guys remember what I said in the Mark Waid video that was bad? Because I can't remember anything that I said that was bad. So that one video got demonetized. Makes me sad. Why won't they pay me to make fun of Mark Waid? Loud Toilet, thanks for $5. Hey, Ethan, first chapter of Cyberfrog was so much fun to look at. I happen to really like the lettering. Can't wait to Back to Your Future Works. Yeah, I love the lettering. The lettering makes me happy. Manual review, the one Mexican dude. Yeah. Wade pulled a mundane Matt and flagged me. Well, no, because if he had, then it wouldn't have been a demonetization situation. It would have been, the video would have been false flagged. It would have come down, and I would have to fight to put it back up for freedom. I would fight for the freedom to make fun of Mark Waid throwing comic books at retail. That's what he did, by the way. Mark Waid, no, I didn't say he was an angry boil on the ass of an angry man. I didn't say that. So it shouldn't have been demonetized if that was the supposed reason. I never said that Mark Waid was a moldy, rotten foie gras made entirely of fat. I never said that either. So I cannot guess. I can't guess why. Oh my goodness. Yeah, why would it get demonetized? But yeah, Mark Waid throwing humanoids comics at retailers at the Las Vegas Retailer Summit. I don't. This is why we can't have nice things, I guess. It's like there's a retailer summit where all of the retailers get together and get to express their concerns to Diamond Distribution, and also maybe to the publishers. Yes, definitely to the publishers. Should be kind of a dignified affair. Should be a business meeting where adults talk about making money. How can we prosper? How can we get these comic books into the hands of people in a better, more efficient way? And unfortunately, Mark Waid is there. Unfortunately, they brought Mark. Unfortunately, somebody still thinks it's 1992, and they hired Mark Waid to run their company, Humanoids, Chief Creative Officer. That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it, Chief Creative Officer. That ain't it. Mark Waid, Chief Creative Officer. who, when confronted with a retailer named Dennis L. Barger Jr., Mark Waid threw comic books at him. It's assault. Rise Again Comics, thanks for $5. He says DC needs to hire the fresh electric talent of Comicsgate to save Vertigo. No thanks. Support better comics like Monster MD on Indiegogo today. Evan James, thanks for $1. Evan James, thanks for another $1. And Hatch says, I retweeted it. Terrible boomer with Twitter. Okay. I will go look at it and I'll retweet it out as well. Chief Tantrum Officer. I mean, that's, it's a company, it's a business. And he's throwing comic books at people. He's throwing comic books at the retailers. Good Lord, what is going on, dude? What is going on with this comic book industry? Every time I do a new video, I say I'm a 26-year veteran of this comic book industry, this wacky comic book industry in decline. And I'm not kidding when I say that. It's awful. Cal Jameson, thanks for $1.99. He says, I'd love to come on soon and talk Shinobi Sasquatch. Yeah, I've talked up Shinobi Sasquatch quite a bit. I should get you on at some point. Berserker Pride says they paid this man to embarrass their brand. Yes. What do you do? Like Mark Waid, like you think, hey, this guy's going to sell my comic books. And no, he's sitting there calling people garbage humans and insisting you stand by him while he throws comics at him. What do you do, dude? I just want these people to go away. I swear to God, I just want them to go away. Comicsgate does not need these people. We don't need to appease them. Comicsgate does not need to interact with them, make them happy, make them promises. There's nothing they have that we want. Not a thing. They have nothing but failure and degeneracy. We don't need it. Loud Toilet says, I can embarrass their brand for much less money. Well, I mean, they've got that comic book called Onyx that just says social justice warrior, badass, on it. Yeah, I could embarrass them, sure. Hatch 450 again says, can't wait for Cyberfrog and Vestige. Hell yeah, thank you. Sean Crummell says, Ethan, embrace the fear and watch my Cyberfrog review. Yeah, Sean Crummell did a review of Cyberfrog #1, and it's just like, Cyberfrog #1 from 1996. I've watched people review it before. I'm just like, it's not going to make me happy. It's not going to make me happy to see a review of that. Even if it were a positive review, I'd feel bad. Johnny Boy's tweeting out the EVS Vampirella Cyberfrog cover. That link is important. If you guys can back Cyberfrog Vampirella, that would be a great thing too. All right. So anyway, I'm going to get back to work. Thank you guys for being here. I am proud of everyone. I'm proud of Dynamite for the success of Vampirella. Go over to the Dynamite Comics store. Purchase a Vampirella comic. Purchase and show support for Dynamite Comics. And also, I mean, what can I say? What's the opposite of pouring one out? Because I'd like to do that for Andy Corey's Vertigo. It's embarrassing. Artura77 says, in my experience, people that act like Mark Waid are people that never had their butt kicked. Yeah. And nobody, he doesn't need a butt kicking. Yeah, I don't know what he needs, but maybe he needs. I wish we could put him in jail. I don't know. I wish what he did was like a criminal act instead of just illegal, the tortious interference. He could stand to sit in a jail cell for a little while, think about things. That'd be nice. All right. In any case, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Love you all. Thanks for your continued support, and I will see you again soon.